So how do you get a business number for your business in Canada? For starters, you don't necessarily need a business number. There are some examples where you could be exempt from having to get one. And the main example would be if you started a business operating under the legal structure of a sole proprietorship, using your personal legal name, and you're really the only one working in the company. If that's the case, then you might not need a business number at all. So one thing to note about business numbers is typically there's going to be one business number assigned per legal entity. So a legal entity being either a human or a corporation. So every time you incorporate a new business, there's going to be a new business number assigned to that corporation. Whereas for the human legal entity, if you set up a sole proprietorship, you'll probably be given a business number, especially in certain provinces, and especially if you're actually registering with a business name. However, if you are a proprietorship and you open various different businesses using different business names, typically you're just going to operate those all under one business number. So in the case that you're a sole proprietorship and you haven't been given a business number, when would be an example of where you might actually need one? That would be if you're needing to register with the CRA for certain accounts. That could be like an import-export account, a payroll account, a GST account, or something like that. They will require that you have a business number in order to open those accounts. So if you haven't been issued one through your provincial corporate registry, that's where you can go to the CRA and sign up for one. There are some special instances where you'll need to get one regardless, and that would be like transport drivers, like rideshare drivers typically need to get a business number regardless, even if they're using their personal legal name. And then maybe you don't have a business, but you have some commercial property that you're renting out and therefore need to collect GST. Chances are you're gonna have to register for a GST account for that as well, even if you don't really have a formal business. And now, as I mentioned, each legal entity is going to be given a business number. So if you set up a corporation and you then later sell that corporation, that business number can stay with the corporation and just be transferred to the new owner or owners. Whereas if you start a sole proprietorship and you're given a business number and you want to sell that business, it's not quite the same because it's not a separate legal entity. So that new business owner might want to take on a new business number that's separate than the one that was registered to you when you started the sole proprietorship. And now one of the main reasons why a sole proprietorship would only have one business number, even if they have multiple businesses, would be because they are just one individual legal entity and don't necessarily need to set up multiple different accounts with the CRA, like as I mentioned, import-export, payroll, GST, and things like that. It's more tied to the individual in that case because there is no separate legal entity like a corporation. Whereas with a corporation, if you start 3 of your own corporations and they're all kind of a different industry, then you'll get 3 business numbers and you'll have separate payroll accounts, separate GST accounts, maybe separate import-export accounts if you're working in that industry, and those can be registered through the CRA. So if you are needing to set up a business number through the CRA because you didn't get one through your provincial registry, you could check with your provincial registry, maybe just have them properly registered. If not, and you're just at sole proprietorship using your personal legal name, then I will leave the link below to go to the CRA website to find out more about getting started, and you can actually register there to get a business number so that you can get set up with those other accounts that the CRA has. And just one quick thing to add into there is that there is a good video on the CRA website that is an instructional on how to actually get set up with a business number, and I will leave a link to that in the video description as well. So hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, please click like and feel free to subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos that I have. I cover business management and business startup topics, and as of today, I have over 120 videos covering those topics.